So many people here. Let me make sure that this is recording. I believe it is. Okay, Liz is shaking her head. Okay. All right, everybody, welcome to the March 2023 Missouri Evergreen cataloging meeting. We're happy to have you all here. Looks like we got a pretty good turnout today, and there's still more popping in. So one last reminder to put your name and library in the chat if you would. That would help us, especially if you're calling in on the phone. So the agenda did get sent out this morning. If you'd like to follow along, we're going to start off like we usually do with a little committee news. The first annual Missouri Evergreen Users Conference is 1 month from today. That's exciting. We do have a couple cataloging programs. So the second session is going to be cataloging with outside resources and a cataloging open forum. So we're hoping that we would love it if you guys would come with general to very specific questions about cataloging. You can bring a problem child and we can catalog, we can look into why it's given you so much trouble. We can, any questions that you have, we would love for you to bring them to this open forum, and we will talk about them. And we will also talk about websites that help us every day with cataloging. And then session 6 of the users conference is going to be, we're going to go over the monthly cataloging reports. So we will have the instructions for all of these reports written down step by step, and we will be going over them. We'll do a general overview of all of them, and then including kind of how to get the information you want out of Excel so that you can begin somewhere that makes sense for you. And then we'll go over some of the cataloging reports more specifically, not just an overview. Liz is going to talk about news that she has.
I mean, I don't know if it's the news, it's just normal things, I guess. So regional trainings, we just had Cedar County, hooray. I think it went well, but please don't trust me on that. Ask somebody else who was there. So next up, we have Rolla on the 24th. So not this coming Friday, but the next Friday. So there is still time to sign up. And they run through, I believe, the middle or end of June. So find the one closest to you. Please come. They're kind of person driven. It depends on who's there, and we're answering a lot of questions and covering a lot of things. So since it's, I say the off year from certification, because it's every other year that we get certified, this year's regional trainings are driven by you guys and what you need and want to know about. So come play with us. And then, of course, I just said certification is every 2 years. If you've been certified the last time, you don't have to worry about it this year, but it's coming again in like a year and a half or so. I am still, and it will be ongoing, updating the documentation. Yeah, I know there are errors, and please send them to me if you find them. I have a list and I'm going through them as I go, but Lord knows I am only one person and only one set of eyes. Also, I just want to remind everybody that as you're certified and, cataloging, I am in the catalog spot checking thing. So the whole thing about if we see things that are issues and sending out emails to libraries that when we see repeated things, those will begin to happen as I keep looking through the catalog and looking at the new records being brought in. So just, I don't mean to be big brothery, but it has to sound that way, I guess, because I am in there looking at the records. So that's all I have. And don't take that as a threat, I guess.
Thanks, Liz. Okay, just our monthly reminder that the Missouri Evergreen committee meetings are all on the website, the Missouri Evergreen website calendar. That includes the CERC meetings and the board meetings and the reports meetings and all of that. So if you're ever wondering including all the Zoom links for those. So don't forget about that. And then tomorrow is the Evergreen Cataloging Interest Group. This is the Evergreen community at large, the cataloging community at large. And we get together and talk about Missouri Evergreen and catalog, not Missouri Evergreen, Evergreen and cataloging. So that's always a good meeting to attend. The International Evergreen Conference is in about 6 weeks. Early bird registration is closed, but remote attendee registration closes April 12th. Anything that is in one of the certain ballrooms of the conference, everything from that room will be Zoomed and you can attend that remotely. So all the speakers and then anything in that room. The agenda I have linked the program so you can see kind of what is going to be in that room, so you can see if anything would be interesting to you. There are 2 cataloging programs that are going to be in the correct room to be Zoomed out. So look and see if any of that is of interest to you. Any questions so far? We're zooming right along here. Okay, we're going to jump into some cataloging discussion. Liz is going to talk to us about how we have run out of 978 ISBNs and how we are now on to 979s and what that means for us as catalogers.
Yeah, so if you've cataloged for a while, ISBNs has always seemed to start with 978 up until quite recently. So we have run out of 978 ISBNs. I guess congratulations for us. There has been enough things published. What this means for us, though, is 978 have a 13-digit ISBN and a 10-digit ISBN. I put the converter in the notes. So when you're making a bib record, we like both to be in there. So if you have a 978 ISBN that is one or the other, please convert it, put both in there. However, the new ISBNs, the 979s, only have a 13-digit. They will not convert to a 10. So does that save us work? I guess so. I'm not sure why they don't convert to 10. They just don't. So if you are trying to convert those and it keeps giving you an error and it doesn't convert, it's not you. That's how they're made. I did it several times before I had to scratch my head and look it up, and they aren't supposed to. So anything with a 979 will only have the 1. 978 will have the 2. That's very general ISBNs, and obviously those go in the 020. And of course, we like the Q field on them, which is hardback, paperback, whatever it is. So that's an easy discussion. Anybody have questions on that?
Thanks, Liz. That's I remember talk of 979s coming out for the last 3 years or so, and it's finally here. We're going to start seeing new ISBN numbers, and it's going to be weird. Okay, something that has come up. This will be a refresher for a lot of people, but we have gotten questions about it in training, and we have gotten emails about it. And it is, when do I merge versus when do I move the item? So kind of the overall general rule of thumb is if your bibs match, you merge them. If the item you're working on is on the wrong bib, then you just want to move it. So I'm going to give some examples here. Let's see. So this title is The Princess Revolt. And this was one that happened to go out in emails recently to the listserv. So we would have all been looking in here. So I see here from this, from the search results, that this is 340 pages, 21 centimeters. This is 340 pages, 21 centimeters. So this is good enough for me to go have a look and see if I can merge it. So I select the titles, and then I'm going to add my basket to my bucket. And then I'm going to go to my bucket. And, you know, everybody has a different workflow. I know people who, before they even get to the screen, they know for sure that they're going to merge it and they already have one of the bib records, you know, real robust and ready to go. I happen to put everything in the bucket and then I like to compare it on this screen. So this is a nice, easy one because there's just 2 records. And you can see they come side by side when you're merging them. And so we can compare these 2. And so the email I only vaguely remember that went out to the listserv was, hey, I see I have my stuff on this record, but it doesn't have a good enough description for me to know. I put in this record, put your items on this record if your item matches. So that's kind of where this one started. And so someone has, both records have been updated now. So it's potentially it could be a merge. So I'm looking at the O2Os. We have 2 O2Os, 7740, 7749, 7740, 7749. So the ISBNs match. We even have matching OCLC numbers here. So that's another match point. Of course, our authors are the same, our title's the same. Even the 250 in this is the same, which, as you know, we will probably be deleting this because we don't, you know, we could be adding the trade paperbacks to this in the future or what have you. The 520, let's see, the 490, both have a 490 and the corresponding 800. They have a filled out physical description, good subject headings and genre headings. So these records are essentially,
Yeah, certainly does.
they're essentially the same thing. So what I do when I pick which one, if they're almost exactly the same, like in this one, I just go and see which one already has more holdings on it. And I choose that as my lead record. So if I was doing a little bit more of a complicated merge, I might have something over here that I would want to copy and paste into here. If these are the trade back and hardback and the items, the contents match, like I would copy and paste the ISBN from this bib and then edit using full editor, I would pop it into here. Again, with different workflows, some people already have, they have, you know, in the editor beforehand, they have already made the bib, you know, perfect. And so they choose it and then it's already done. When it's merged, it's already fixed and everything. So I don't have anything that I'm going to copy and paste from this one because it was essentially the same. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add my code to the 040, and then I'm going to find my copy and paste document. Let's see. It's trying to come up behind something. I have it here. So I just have this that I copy and paste from, and then I'm going to add it. So that 902 means MJ8 on 3/13/2023 merged this. So that just kind of gives us a little indication of who's done what to this bib record. And if you are editing in this screen, you want to save and then done. You don't want to hit done without hitting save because it won't save your stuff. So save and then done. And I'm going to merge these things. And your merged bib will come up and you can, you know, give it a once over or whatever, but everything, all of the items that were on the bib that is now gone, including the holds, including everything that has to do with that holding is now, they're together on one bib. So this was, and you can see it saved all of my changes and everything. So my items matched. So or the bib records match. So I just merged the whole thing instead of moving my item over to something else. So when is this not the case? Before I go on, I'm going to empty my bucket. So we fixed this one. hot dog. Let's see about this one. So I had somebody from my one of my branches say, hey, this is on the wrong bib record. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I have a DVD bib record here and a Blu-ray bib record here. And you can see so I'm going to open one in a different tab because I like to work side by side. So I'm just going to right click on this, or you can control click, and I'm going to open a new tab. And then I'm going to open this one in this tab. So I've got the DVD bib record over here. We've got DVD, one disc. And then in this screen, I have the Blu-ray, one disc. So in my holdings view, I can see that I have a DVD on this Blu-ray bib record. I need this to be moved because not everybody's item is a DVD on this bib. So of course we can't merge the two things. They're two different bibs. So I need to move my DVD to the Blu-ray bib. So this is what I'm moving from. And the other one, the Blu-ray, is what I'm moving to. So I am moving a DVD for my Northwest branch. So in the one that I'm going to, I'm going to go to Holdings View. And from Northwest, I'm going to right click on it. And again, there's several different ways you can use action menus and that kind of thing. I'm a right clicker. So I right click on it and I scroll down and I mark this call number as my transfer destination. It's where this bib, it's where this holding is going because it's on the wrong bib. I'm putting it here on the right bib. So I'm marking that as my destination. And then I'm going to my other bib where my Blu-ray is, nope, my DVD is incorrectly on the Blu-ray bib record. And so I will right click on this holding. This is the holding line. You don't want to right click up here on the call number. You want to right click on the item. And I'm going to transfer my items to marked destination. Now, there is a difference. All of you know that transferring can be tricky sometimes. If you are the last library that has a holding on this bib record, you would do everything the same. And that's when you would transfer holding to marked destination. In almost all other scenarios, you're going to transfer your item to the marked destination. Now, in that scenario I just talked about where my holding was the only one on this bib, I could have just merged the two then instead and, made the other bib my lead record. But, so that's the only scenario you could do that. But I'm going to transfer my item to the marked destination because it's not the last item on the bib record as a whole. And then I'm going to go to my bib that was the destination, and you can see my DVD is back on the DVD bib record and it is no longer on the Blu-ray record. This can be, so I was looking at these two bibs this morning and I'm like, oh, that looks like it could be wrong. That looks like it could be wrong. Looking at other people's, deciding whether or not I should send an email out. And DVD and Blu-ray can be tricky because like my library, we put DVD and Blu-ray in the call number. So I can tell for sure that my item is that. But some libraries don't do that. They put DVD, even if it's a Blu-ray. Like you can see here, my Circ mod is still DVD, even though my DVD is my Circ modifier, even though the item is a Blu-ray. So this can be kind of confusing to some people, the Blu-ray DVD thing. So like this one here, I see is video J Mulan. So I'm like, could that be Blu-ray or is that just how they have all of their call numbers say video? So, just worry about what your stuff is doing. And if you think that there's other things that are on the bib record that need to be moved, then we can send an email out to everybody. Does anybody have any questions about transferring and merging? Any examples you'd like to share or questions about what's confusing? If you ever have a question about if something can be merged, if something should be, if your transfer is going wonky and you're wondering why it's not going the way it's supposed to or something, email Liz, email the cat help. Somebody can help you with that. Transferring can be kind of tricky, but once you got the hang of it, you can do it pretty easily. And the last thing we're going to talk about, which we will probably talk about every meeting for the near future because it's something new. So we want to, keep it on repeat in our brains. On order bibs. If you do not have item in hand and you are putting it in the system, then we are capitalizing everything in the 245A and the 245B fields. It is the responsibility of the library who receives the item first to fix that bib record. That might just mean you're putting the capital, everything capital back into sentence case and the bib record is excellent and you're good to go. Or it could mean that this whole bib record needs an overhaul. If you are the first person to have the item in hand for an on order bib, you are the one that gets the awesome duty of cleaning up that bib record and making it ready for the patrons to see, now that the item is in hand. So yes, we have already seen items that have been added to on order bib records that have not been changed. And this is why we will be mentioning this at every meeting probably for the foreseeable future, because it's something different. But if you see something that is in all caps and you have the item in hand, you are the responsible for fixing the bib record and for changing, not just fixing the bib record, but that includes changing the uppercase to sentence case. And that's just an indication. I have gotten, I don't know about you guys, but my frontline circ staff, they are loving this. They love to see that the on order bibs, especially for bestsellers and stuff like that, that it's in all caps. It really sets itself apart from everything else, and they can kind of see that something's different with this. So, and then when we get the item in hand, when it is circulating out to somebody, then that means that the bib should have already been fixed. So, anybody have any questions about that? Anybody have any feedback? Have anybody's staff said anything about what we've decided to do here? It's okay if it's negative. Well, I hope that everyone else is, I do think that it makes a difference to staff and patrons that we can kind of see these bib records as kind of set apart from everything else. So we're only 25 minutes in. That's all I had today. Does anybody have any questions or comments? I was at the cataloging training in Stockton week before last, and I thought it was great. The way Liz did it, like she said, we're not in a certification year, so it wasn't, heavy on the certification curriculum. It was really driven by the catalogers. Now, yes, she has things that, we're going to talk about, but organically, questions arise, and so that, you know how that goes. It's a domino effect. It makes us talk about something else and something else. And I feel like we had some really great conversations. I feel like questions were answered and confusions were unconfused. And I really like this format. And I encourage anybody who has signed up for these trainings to bring questions, to bring a problem child or something. It's a great time to do that, like as opposed to our users conference where we have 45 minutes. If we have too many questions, we're not going to be able to get to all of them. But if we at the trainings, it's I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. that we're all there together. So questions can really be focused on and answered. So if you haven't signed up for training, I really encourage you to do so, even if you're an excellent cataloger. If nothing else, we can meet each other and see each other and talk about cataloging. Mickey or Sue, do you have anything to add before our catalogers leave for today?
Kate and Liz, I was going to ask you about the regional trainings. Were there any particular themes that came up repeatedly or issues that you feel were really important to talk about with the group?
Well, I make everybody write down a question at the beginning, no names included, and then I draw them out as I go. And I think all of them except Kate, who Kate was just being Kate and funny, were related to 650s, the subject headings, and 655 genre headings, every single one. So those will be covered extensively in trainings. I mean, we could talk about them in monthly meetings, but it is a big thing to talk about. It takes a long time. So come play with us and learn about subject headings, ask questions. Attending regional training does not mean you're not a good cataloger. It just means come help us teach others if you know something. Everyone in the consortium probably knows something I don't know, and vice versa, right? So that's what regional training is about. So come play with us and let's learn things together, guys, and talk about subject headings because it's very important. And we got to spend a good hour and a half on that probably.
And she's right. I mean, we all shared stories and shared different things that were going on or situations that we had. And I love going to trainings because I always learn something.
Well, I think this is Sue. I would commend everyone for trainers or training your catalogs in order to answer other people's questions, like what just happened on the chat. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Missouri Evergreen. Everyone is sharing their knowledge and their skills, what they've learned, and they're imparting that to the others. So that I think the question and the answer, they were right on target, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know it's just really easy to maybe miss a meeting or two or miss one of the Zoom calls. So some of our catalogs might find that a lot of that repetition. So I see that you already said that you're going to start repeating that month after month. So I think that's very important because you do have a different audience on your monthly Zoom meetings. I just applaud this just for the fact that we have 51 participants. This is like huge. And I know that everybody is really engaged in the training. And I believe that all we can do is just keep on training and offering answers to the questions. So thank you, Kate. Thank you, Liz.
Speaking to the 51 participants, there's no way all of you put your name in the chat. Just gonna say, that's how we record your attendance. So if you have not, please put your name in the chat.
And I just wanted to say one more thing about repetition, because I know that there's a lot of emails that come out of the listserv. They serve a purpose. Please don't just ignore them. I am guilty of maybe letting my mind pile up a little bit. And so I'll spend a whole day and look through, 10 emails that say, look at this bib, look at this bib. But I will check, every one of them. So, and then if I don't have holdings on it or, then it doesn't apply to me and I go on to the next one. So if we have put out something on the listserv that says, hey, can you check your holdings on this? Please do so. We do go back and, spot check those too as well to see if that has been resolved. And if, people have done their due diligence and checked their stuff and moved it if necessary. So thank you, Sue, for putting your so if we don't have any other questions, I don't have my calendar right now, but it looks like the next meeting is April 10th. at 11 o'clock. So I will see you guys there. Let's see.
There are 2 regional trainings before that. There's one the 24th and one the 6th.
And the users conference is next week, that next month as well. So you could just be cataloging up a storm in April with us. So we'll see you all there. If you have any questions between now and then, email Liz, email Cat Help, and we will get you where you need to be. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Liz.
Kate, I want you to know that I see in your favorites at the top, it says kittens in a YouTube channel.
Yeah. It's I mean, let's see what the kittens are doing.
I had one of those at St. Louis Public Library. It was like, what are those catalogers and the kitten YouTube?
It's a live stream of kittens. I mean,
is,
some days you just need to watch kittens.
Yes, Kitten Academy. That was ours too.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. I am trying to end this meeting and